Today, we honor Aleta Sill as she becomes the first woman bowler to join the $1 Million Club. Stay tuned as we bring you the finals of the Visionary Bowling Products Classic and a celebration of Aleta's milestone accomplishment. Tonight's opening match features the spirited Tammy Turner, the quiet newcomer Jennifer Swanson, and the poised veteran Kim Kennedy. The survivor will face the defending champ of this event, Marianne De Rupo, and the winner there will challenge the hot hand of Carolyn Dorin-Ballard for the championship. We're in Lancaster, Ohio, just outside of Columbus, to kick off the PWBA's fall tour. Welcome inside Tiki Lanes for the finals of the Visionary Bowling Products Classic. Hi, everyone. I'm Jan Schmidt. I'm glad you tuned in for the first Monday night of our fall swing. The big story this week, Aleta Sill. As we mentioned, she broke the $1 million mark. My partner for the evening is a longtime rival of Aleta Sill's, Lisa Wagner. Lisa, how do you feel about that accomplishment?
Well, I feel like Aleta's hard work has finally paid off. You know, this is an awesome achievement, and I really want to get in line and congratulate Aleta on this feat. But, hey, Aleta, still got you entitled.
I believe that score is 32-30. We'll have a little more on Aleta later in the telecast. Lisa, let's talk about some of the finalists at the top of the pack. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, by anyone's standards, she's having a great year. But by her standards, hey, is anything enough?
Well, I don't think so, Jan. You know, 32nd is her lowest finish of the year. That's still a cash, and she has not missed doing that yet this year. This is her 7th show, and she already has 1 title. But the one thing that's eluded her is Player of the Year. And Carolyn says 2nd, no more. And a win here tonight will certainly put her right in the hunt for top honors.
Sitting in that number 4 spot, a lady who's very happy with her performance this year, Jennifer Swanson. Lisa, she told us a few weeks ago when she made her first show, I couldn't wait to get back out and do it again. I think she was serious about that.
You know, I think she was right. 6th place is her lowest finish in the last 4 tournaments. She has 1 title already. And you know what? This is only her first full year on tour. Look for her. She almost shot 300 just a few weeks ago on TV.
I'm anxious to see what she'll do tonight. I know she's ready for the first match, and so are we. She'll be joined by Tammy Turner and Kim Kennedy. Large crowd on hand here at Tiki Lanes in Lancaster, Ohio. Handshakes around for our first 3 finalists. Tammy Turner will be starting the match. She was seated number 5. Did not have a choice in the matter. They told her when to go. Nice opening shot for Tammy Turner.
Pretty big relief for Tammy Turner, too. Her last few shows, she hasn't done, you know, up to her expectations, and looking for a good night tonight.
Kim Kennedy now up on lane 12. Her opening shot looked pretty close to Tammy's shot. Did the players look lined up in practice? Let's take a look at Jennifer Swanson. You talked about her, a newcomer, first full year on tour. And all 3 players. Did you watch them in practice, Lisa?
Yes, I did. They all looked fairly comfortable. You know, I think they're just going to have to control their emotions right here. And speaking of emotions, this player right here is probably the one that needs to try and control them the most. She said that she has had problems with that lately. You know, she's made several shows this year. This is her 5th, but is having a little problem with that.
5th show out of 14 events that she's bowled this year. She's made 8 cuts out of 14 and 10 cashes out of 14. Not a bad year, but she expects to be up there every week.
Well, a great shot right there. Just, you know, leaving her ring in 10. The 6 pin went high and up around that. Not much you can do about that. So she's going to go make that spare and go on with that.
Kim Kennedy, meanwhile, also a pretty good year. 8 top 10s out of 14, 11 cuts, and 12 cashes. All the players on the show pretty consistent this year. And I know Tammy's glad to get that first spare out of the way. Jennifer Swanson up working on 1 strike. As you mentioned, She was on TV, I believe, the last show, almost shot 300. And there is a bonus for $350,000, courtesy of MasterCard, if anybody shoots 300 on television. Bowling fans in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, be sure to come out and bowl in the Pro-Am portion of the Three Rivers Open beginning Saturday, October 9th. Join many of the PWBA stars for a fun-filled day of bowling at Princess Lanes. Contact John Jones at 412-882-5557 for more information. Through 2 frames, Kim Kennedy and Jennifer Swanson are in the lead by 10 pins over Tammy Turner. Tammy Turner coming up light, just not carrying right now, but in the pocket, making good shots.
That's right. You know, I think she has a pretty good reaction right now, and she did say that right now she is bowling good enough that she feels she can take advantage of a good shot. So let's see what happens here on TV tonight for her 5th show of the year.
Meanwhile, Kim Kennedy continuing to strike. 3 in a row, 2 ladies on a perfect game. Tammy Turner shooting at the 7 pin, and close, but it's down.
Well, close enough, let's say.
Close
That's
enough.
what I always say. If you make it, close enough.
Now, Lisa, this lady has really amazed me this year, how fast she's become comfortable out there on television and how quickly her mental game has strengthened.
That's right. She has a lot of preparation for the tour. She did bowl in college, and that's a real good prep for the tour. She bowled a lot of tournaments. Everywhere she could bowl, she did, and that gives her a lot of experience on every lane condition possible.
Well, all these ladies tonight, I believe, except for Marianne De Rupo, did bowl in college. Tammy Turner bowled for West Texas A&M University, and another 10-pin, Kim Kennedy, bowled for San Jose University, and Jennifer Swanson bowled for Sacred Heart University. Collegiate bowling, very obvious out here on tour.
Well, it's a good prep for tour because they learn the mental game, not only the physical game. And they learn equipment and how to react to certain situations, and I think it's a very big help. Not only do they have that, they also have a degree behind them, and, you know, that can't hurt anytime.
No, they have a place to go. It makes bowling a lot easier if you feel you have another career, and there is the challenge Tammy Turner's been having on telecast. Missing that 10-pin. Kim Kennedy, meanwhile, going for a 10-pin, trying to convert. No problem there. And Jennifer Swanson, now the only one still on a perfect game with the front 3 strikes. Her best finish first at the Clabber Girl Terre Haute Open. Let that one pretty wide. Oh, my. Well, it's early in this match, and there's a lot more action to come later in the show. Don't forget, we'll have more on Aleta Sill's history-making moment. Stay with us. The championship round finals of the Visionary Bowling Products Classic are being brought to you by Budweiser and Bud Light, the official beers of bowling. By MasterCard, there are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. Welcome back to the Visionary Bowling Products Classic. While we were gone in the 6th frame, Kim Kennedy converts the spare.
Just a textbook way to convert the 210. She softened up on the speed just a bit, and you know what? She doubled right after that. That has put her right in position to win this match.
She now trails by just 10 pins behind Jennifer Swanson. Kim Kennedy, though working on a double, can even the match up with another strike. Tammy Turner has had her problems while she was away, and I guess we'll wait until the next show to shake off those nerves on television.
That's right. You know, I got to say that Tammy has not thrown the ball bad at all this week, and that's one thing that she's working on. She is working with a sports psychologist right now, Dr. Eric Lasser, and she's trying to solve these problems that she has, and she wants to send a message to her fans, hey, be patient with me.
Well, there seems to be some confusion right now. Tammy Turner actually bowled on the wrong lane by the WIBC playing rules of the game if the frame has not been completed. Okay, now we had a little confusion. Now she found out she did not bowl on the wrong lane. She bowled on the correct lane, therefore the pinfall stands. They will respot the 2-8, and she will shoot the spare. Had she been on the wrong lane by the playing rules of the game, the frame was not completed, she would have re-bowled that frame on the correct lane.
Well, Tammy right now has to be thinking, you know, what else could go wrong?
She is just having all kinds of things happen to her on television. But, hey, the true professional she is, picked up the spare. Kim Kennedy now, big shot in the 9th frame. She can even up this match with one more strike. There it is, and that's a big setup strike in the 9th frame also. Jennifer Swanson's going to have to strike here. Otherwise, Kim Kennedy would be able to run away with it. Oh, and what a great shot. Just like last night, she needed a mark in the 10th, good count, and she struck.
That's right. She was bowling Dee Dee Davidson the last match. And, you know, Dee Dee had shot 277 her 7th game to catch up to the show. In the last match, it was, you know, a 20-pin difference. Whoever wins the match gets on the show, depending on what people after them had bowled. But they didn't bowl enough, so whoever wins the match, and Jennifer came out on top.
And she struck out in the 10th to do it. Kim Kennedy now up in the 10th, can finish it out. Should she throw 3 strikes here, Jennifer Swanson would have to strike out to tie Kim Kennedy. Tammy Turner converting her spare. Just trying to get out of there right now. Now, if we have a tie, Lisa, what happens?
Well, we're going to go into a 9th and 10th frame roll-off, and I'll tell you what, that is a tough thing because you only have those 2 frames. It's all or nothing, 2 frames.
First things first, Kim Kennedy up now for her second shot in the 10th. Basically, whatever she does, Jennifer Swanson has to match or do better.
Great shot right there. She left a 10-pin, you know, but she was aggressive. She didn't let it go high. She didn't get soft on it. A great shot. She's definitely put the pressure on Jennifer Swanson.
Kim Kennedy going to convert the 10-pin. Important to pick this up. It's going to force Jennifer Swanson to have to double to win the match. Final score of 245 for Kim Kennedy. Jennifer Swanson needs the first strike. If she would go strike 9 spare, there's a tie. If she doubles, she wins. Double in 1 pin. There's that first strike. She needs the next strike to win. As I said, 9 spare would be a tie, and she sure is performing under pressure.
I'll tell you what, Jen, that was a super shot to strike here and advance to the next game. You know, she did not let up on her speed, and that is a real good lesson for anybody watching out there. Go for it. When you know that at least you have to have a double to win, you got to go for it, and she did.
Big shot. Oh my, and by that pin count, she loses this match. Even if she converts the spare, it's 243. It's not going to be enough. A little soft with that shot?
Well, yeah, a little bit soft, and I'll tell you what, on this condition, with the 22 feet of Guardian that we're bowling on this week, that ball will hook very early.
Well, there were 3, and now there's 1. Kim Kennedy moves on. But first, when we come back, Marianne De Rupo has advice for you on bowling ball surfaces. Welcome back to Tiki Lanes in Lancaster, Ohio. It's the Visionary Bowling Products Classic. We're ready for the semifinal match between Kim Kennedy and Marianne De Rupo. I'm Jan Schmidt, along with Lisa Wagner. Kim Kennedy made it through that first match, and Marianne is going to make her start this match. Wow, look at that score. She defeated Marianne earlier in the week, 285 to 279. Is that an indication? No. What may come? I guess not. Terrible break for Kim Kennedy.
Well, fortunate, I guess, that it came in the first frame of this game, so, you know, she could get it out of the way early. Kim Kennedy was 54th this week after just 6 games of qualifying, worked her way up to 3rd place.
That's pretty incredible. Didn't she say she used just 1 ball after that? She went to a different ball and used it the rest of the time?
Yes, she did. I asked her how many she used the first 6 games. She said many. And then went to I qualified next to her this week, and, you know, she definitely was lost the first 6 games. And I told her ball rep this week that even though she was 19th after qualifying, I predicted she'd make the show.
Well, that being Kim Kennedy we're talking about, here's Marianne De Rupo. And almost the 710 for her. Wow. So what do you predict about this match, since you know who's making the show ahead of time?
Well.
Gee, did I put you on the spot? I meant to. Marianne stepping up to convert the 7-pin to jump out to an early lead. 32 years old, 8 years a pro. Oh, my. She could breathe now, I guess.
Just barely made that 7-pin.
Marianne is the defending champion here.
That's right. Watch her game. You know, she's worked very hard on her game. You're going to notice that she's going to slide a little bit further up on the lane. She used to be a lot further back than that at the foul line, and she feels like that has given her a lot better roll toward the front part of the lane. And she's definitely working on her aggression, backing off just a little bit. She's getting a little better feel that way.
Going up high, leaving the 6-pin. One of the other things she talked about was trying to slow her ball speed down. See how Lisa, she removed her wristband now to shoot the spare.
That's right. She wants to cut the hook down a little bit. With that wristband on, she's going to get the maximum amount of turn and lift. And for a spare, definitely you're going cross lane. You don't want a whole lot. Take it off, go right at it. Some
close spare shooting going on here tonight. And Kim Kennedy, as you mentioned, you called it early on in the week. Now, why did you think that Kim would make this show?
The reason I thought she would make the show was because after the first round, she hit the pocket continuously for the second and the third round of qualifying, and I felt like that was a very good key this week. You had to hit the pocket. You could worry about the carry of the 10s or the 7s or corners or whatever later on, but you had to hit the pocket, and she did.
As she hit the pocket there, leaving the 10-pin.
She made a nice aggressive shot right here. You're going to see the 6-pin just wrap right around the 10. There's not a lot you can do. You can back off maybe on your speed a little bit. You can change the angle a little bit of the entry into the pocket and get a little less deflection. You know, I got to feel she's going to stay right there because she knows that she's going to change just a little bit the next shot.
Well, there were some other finishers in this tournament, as always. Top 24 made it to match play. In 6th place, Dee Dee Davidson, as you said, came down to the 10th frame. Debbie McMullen actually 5th in average this week, but bad match play record.
Look at there in 13th. Tiffany Stambro, leading contender, Rookie of the Year. Carol Norman in 14th, had a 300 this week.
Kim Kennedy up in the 3rd frame, actually trailing by 10 pins, leaving a 10-pin there.
9 count? 10-10.
9 count is, yes, where we were trying to go, or I was trying to go.
Okay. Very methodical player. Kim Kennedy is very methodical. She likes to go through the same routine. And I guarantee you she is going to hit the pocket. You don't see her lost very often.
Kim not having any trouble with the spare. She has a knee brace on. Did she have an injury? Do you know? Or
I don't know of one. I think that she said that maybe running, she might have strained it just a little bit. She does like to keep in shape during the breaks and went running and might have strained it just a little bit. I think it's more of a maybe of a guardian against further injury.
Marianne now up in the third and strikes. And as I mentioned, she was or is the defending champion of this event. And we're going to take a look at her reaction last year when she won the event. She's bowling Liz Johnson.
Don't think she could believe it.
Don't think so.
I think there was a little bit of prayer there amidst that win. I know that she's hoping to repeat that tonight. You know, she has defended titles twice before. Omaha and Delaware. She's defended titles. This could be the third time.
Actually, we did go back and check those stats, and while she did win some of those tournaments twice, they were not back-to-back years, so they don't count as a defensive title. Like Omaha, she won in 94 and 98. So she did win them a couple times, but to qualify as defending a title, it has to be the next year that event is held. Kim Kennedy now up in the fourth frame. Big strike for Kim Kennedy, needing to get something going. She trails by 21 pins through 4 frames. Now, the last show that Kim made was in Omaha, and she finished second to someone sitting next to me, I believe, Lisa Wagner. That was after you gave her some advice about forgetting doubles and get out there and win a singles title. And then went out and beat her. Nice advice.
Oops.
But she has used that advice and been bowling more aggressive in singles matches. Semi-final action of the Visionary Bowling Products Classic will continue after these messages. And still to come, Aleta Sill making history. We're back at the semifinal match of the Visionary Bowling Products Classic at Tiki Lanes in Lancaster, Ohio. Kim Kennedy leads by 10 pins going into the 8th frame. She's thrown 4 strikes in a row, taking over the lead. Meanwhile, Marianne De Rupo had some carry problems.
That's right. Left a solid 9-pin in the 7th frame. Could end up being a really big hit for Marianne right there. She threw it great. Left the 9-pin, but we'll see what happens here.
Hit.
Oh. And talked about the 9-pin.
Talk about big hits. Leaving the 4 with it just could be disastrous. Ball's going to just go right through the pocket here, just too high. Left the 4 and the 9, just didn't seem to touch anything right there. Not pleased with that shot whatsoever.
Not pleased with the result, that's for sure.
That's right.
She's got to go for this.
She definitely does. And it's not an easy spare to make this week either.
Oh, that was close.
That's about as close as I've seen this week. It was tough.
Well, she'll shake it off. Meanwhile, Aleta Sill, what a big 15th place check that was this week. Paulina Alto here from Finland. Welcome, Paulina.
And Kathy Trevby back in the finals, making a reappearance on tour. And 24th, Jackie Snyder, her first finals of the year.
Look at the scoreboard. Kim Kennedy trails now by just 4 pins. Must set up a strike here in the 9th frame. That looked a little left to target all the way down the lane, but
definitely left to target. She was definitely left to target here right in this shot. It's a good thing that she kept it nice and hard and firm, because otherwise she could have had disaster there. She did leave herself with just a 4-pin by keeping it nice and aggressive. But I tell you what, Jan, she really did need a strike there.
She'll cover it up, sit down, and all she can do is wait. Marianne De Rupo can step up and close this thing out in the 9th and 10th. Marianne leading by 4 pins, but with the strike in the 9th, could take that to 14 pins. And this is some of the things she's been working on, the pressure shots. Didn't overhit that one.
No, she didn't. That was a great shot. You're going to notice that she's using a pin in the middle of her grip. Now, that's going to allow the ball to roll pretty early, and that's very key for her not being so aggressive. If she was that aggressive, I'll tell you what, that ball could go anywhere down the lane. Could hook early if she hit up on it. It could hook too late, leave herself with a 2-8-10 or something like that. But she can use equipment now that she's very comfortable using. Right there was a real good proof of that.
Well, she told us she was going for controllable and predictable all week. And that's a key shot. Just really needed a mark there. All Kim Kennedy can shoot is 214. Marianne De Rupo, just with some good pin count, will have this match wrapped up. Well, Marianne De Rupo breezes by Kim Kennedy. That's enough. When we return, as promised, Aleta Sill's $1 Million Journey. And there is the beautiful, I guess, or mean-looking trophy of the Visionary Bowling Products Classic that Marianne De Rupo and Carolyn Dorin-Ballard will be battling for. What an interesting trophy that is. Lancaster, Ohio, 1999. Marianne De Rupo got here by defeating Kim Kennedy in match 2, 235 to 214. And Marianne De Rupo was in this position 1 year ago. Obviously not bowling Carolyn Dorin-Ballard, bowling Liz Johnson, and wound up winning that event. Carolyn is going to force Marianne to start the match. Marianne will have to finish last.
That's right. I don't think Carolyn was particularly fond of the right lane, so she's going to want to finish on the left and make Marianne finish on that right one.
Nice opening shot from Marianne De Rupo, starting it off right. First look at Carolyn Dorin-Ballard tonight, 35 years old. She's been a pro for 10 years from North Richland Hills, Texas. Originally from New Jersey. Wants to say hi to Big G, her dad, and Marianne, her mom, back at home in New Jersey. A big opening shot for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. We hope you're enjoying our new Monday night 8 p.m. time slot on ESPN2, which we'll have for the majority of the fall swing, but we just wanted to remind you that next week we move to a 10:30 p.m. time with the finals of the AMF Gold Cup. The next 2 weeks after that, we're on at 8 p.m. with the finals of the Three Rivers Open Monday, October 18th, and the Brunswick Women's World Open on Monday, October 25th. That show will also re-air October 28th, and the final telecast will air 3 times, 8 p.m. on November 8th, ESPN2 on November 11th at 2 p.m. and again on ESPN that evening at midnight. Big strike for Carolyn Dorin-Ballard. Starts it off with a double. Could be a great championship match.
Not kidding. It will be. They're both hitting the pocket. They both just bowled great to get here. They both have worked very hard at their games, their physical and mental games, and could not ask for a better final match.
Marianne De Rupo, career stats for TV, average 211.11, 35 appearances. 32-28, so she has a winning record on TV over her career. 14 cashes this year, 12 of 14 cuts, and 4 of 14 top 10 finishes. And there's that 10 pin.
Marianne made a very good shot here. She's getting the ball reaction that she definitely wants to see. She hit the pocket. You know, the 6 pin just kind of laid in the channel there, just a little bit weak, but she's not going to worry about it. I'll tell you, she's left a lot of those, as has everybody this week. She makes a spare, goes on. At least she knows she hit the pocket.
I didn't see your name in the top 24, so apparently you left a few too many.
Oh, boy, I'm going to tell you what, I left everything. I was just totally not prepared, and there was no possible way that I was going to keep up with these players out here right now. I have not worked hard enough, and anybody that wants to come out here, I'm going to tell you what, be prepared, because they worked very hard, and if you don't, you're just not going to keep up.
Am I going to have to whip you into shape? You'll be ready for next week.
I'm definitely getting ready for next week. I'm working hard.
High game this week for Marianne De Rupo, 279, 169 low game. And another 10 pin. That was a nice shot.
Yes, it was. Very aggressive shot right there. 6 pin just wrapped around the 10, but, you know, like I said before, she's in the pocket, so believe me, that's good.
Talked about some of her game changes, and one of the other things, I don't know if we touched on it, was that she was trying to close up the front part of the lane. She had been opening up with a little too much, wanted to play a little tighter line.
That's right, and with her aggressive style, when she did open up, she would see a little bit of hang down the lane. The ball just didn't want to, you know, turn over quite so aggressive down the lane. She would start leaving too many 2 pins and 2 4-5s. You don't want to have to be making those. You want to be in the pocket.
Carolyn Dorin-Ballard already with one title this year in Jacksonville, Florida. You notice Carolyn's clothing. It has a CC on the chest area. She is wearing her Carolyn's Collection. It's a new women's clothing line. She's yelling, come on, and we talked to her about what she did over her break.
Well, I think it was time for a little rest and relaxation, so I went to Japan with Dell. And for the first 3 days, we just did things together and went sightseeing. And I was a little panicky at first, because I said, oh, no, you know, I'm not going to be able to bowl every day. And, you know, I just got really tired, and I think I was putting too much pressure on myself, and when I wasn't performing, it was like a big letdown. So I feel a lot more refreshed, and you know what? I'm here to win.
And she certainly is starting off the right way to win. 3 strikes in a row, leading by 21 pins through 3 frames. We'll take it to 31 with 1 more strike. Little lucky there.
Well, a little bit hard, a little bit fast with the speed, and that's okay here. You definitely don't want to be, you know, too soft. She got the ball out on the lane quite a bit that time. You're going to see it just skid a little bit too far. Left herself with an easy spare, broke up the 2-4-5. What a good break right there, because, you know, I'll tell you what, that could be a very hard spare to make here.
You talked about earlier at the top of the show the good year that we, or I feel she's having. Many of us feel she's having 11 top 10 finishes out of 14, 14 out of 14 cashes, 12 out of 14 cuts. That's a pretty darn good year. Covers that spare up. Both players taking a lot of time here, wanting to make sure they make good shots. Marianne down a little bit in average this year, but the conditions a little bit tougher in some of the tournaments, going up high, leaving a 4-7.
Got the ball down on the lane just a little bit early. And I'll tell you what, when we're bowling on this condition right here, the speed is just a crucial factor. And I think she might have got just a little bit short, a little bit soft with that one.
Covers it up nicely, and we're going to step aside for a quick break, but stay with us. It's anyone's match. We're back at the Visionary Bowling Products Classic. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard increased her lead while we were away. Strike and a couple of spares. She now leads by 34 pins through 7 frames. As she steps up into the 8th frame, max score possible should she strike out, 248. And that was a big shot in the 8th frame. She's pumped about that one. She's really worked hard to change that mental attitude that, you know, sometimes, as she talked about, was she wanted too much.
Yeah, she said that she felt like she was overworking herself just a little bit, and she sat herself down and read some books and learned from that. You know what, Carolyn knew that this was a very important frame for her because Marianne could still shoot 220, and look at that reaction. She knew that that was an important shot. Set herself up for the 9th and 10th.
Well, Marianne trailing by 34, but it could have been 24 if she'd have struck there. That 10-pin almost jumping off the lane and settling back down.
Oh, you see Marianne right there just dejected. She knew that that was a very key shot for her, and she threw it great. You know, Jan, sometimes these days it's real hard to tell when you leave a weak 10 or a ringing 10 or just go a little bit high or leave a 4-9 or a 4-pin. It's real hard to tell how far you're off on the shot because the equipment these days is so strong.
Well, Marianne's been throwing good strikes, and we talked to her about the changes she made.
One of the big changes I made over the break is I noticed that my aggression at every shot was at 90% to 100%. It was really hard for me to compete at that for every single shot for a duration of a tournament. And I noticed that in the start of my backswing, instead of me waiting to push through the ball, I noticed that I was hitting through the ball soon, which was making me hit up on the ball. So basically, I'm learning to compete possibly at 60%, which would make me repeat shots a little more consistently.
And she's been doing that tonight. That's an interesting comment, Lisa. You can't always be 90 or 100%, and then she was pumping up even more than that for those critical shots.
Well, I think it's a key for Marianne, definitely, because she is so strong. I mean, you know, physically she's a strong player. Her physical bowling game is also strong, and she had to back off a little bit because she wanted to, what she called, grab the ball a lot. When she would get to the foul line, she would just, you know, squeeze her hand a little bit too hard, hit on it too much, and it could go anywhere that way.
Oh, and that was a huge shot in the 9th frame. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard with a double there now leads by 44 pins. Marianne De Rupo could still strike out, though, for 204. Del Ballard, Carolyn's husband, and Ebonite Ballrap looking on.
Del looks like a basket case right there, doesn't he? I tell you what, he's so much fun to have out here. He helps so many players. It doesn't matter what ball they're throwing, who they are. I'm telling you what, he helps everybody. He's helped me quite a bit, too.
Well, with that double in the 9th, Carolyn just needs to get some pin count here. And that's enough. The best Marianne De Rupo can do is 204. Carolyn already at 206 in the 9th frame. So Marianne De Rupo, again, did not defend, but a second-place finish, not bad. Covers the spare, and Carolyn Dorin-Ballard captures her 7th career title here at the Visionary Bowling Products Classic. There's more to come, so sit tight. The championship round finals of the Visionary Bowling Products Classic are being brought to you by Budweiser and Bud Light, the official beers of bowling. By MasterCard, there are some things in life money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. And by AMF Bowling Worldwide, the largest owner and operator of bowling centers in the world and one of the leading makers of bowling products. AMF always means fun. And by Sprint, the point of contact. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard is the champ of the Visionary Bowling Products Classic. Final score 225 to 170. On her left is James Wonders from Visionary Bowling Products. With the trophy on her right, Greg Russell of Tiki Lanes with the check, and Judy Hood of Duncan's Diamonds and Gold. Carolyn Dorin-Ballard starts the fall swing with her second title of the year and 7th of her career at the Visionary Bowling Products Classic. For Lisa Wagner, I'm Jan Schmidt. Thanks for watching, and so long from Lancaster, Ohio. Remember to tune in next Monday night, a little later at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, as Dana Miller-Mackey attempts to defend her title at the AMF Gold Cup in Richmond, Virginia. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.